Welcome to the first Satellite Quarterly webinar of the new fiscal year 2018. We're coming to a close of the quarter, which will end at the end of September. And we'll get into a little bit more details about reminders as we close out the quarter later on. But first of all, welcome to everyone attending today. I hope everyone's well. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to show up. You'll notice on this lead slide a small change in regards to my position title. Previously, you may have known me as the Share Our Strength Programs Manager, and now I will be the Community Health Education Supervisor. Just make note of that. We'll get more into this in just a minute, but just note that my role within this title has not changed from previously, as I will be continuing to support all satellite functions and satellite partnerships in terms of training, onboarding, and providing ongoing support and updates throughout the fiscal year. All right, please review this attached agenda here on this slide. These are the few topics that we'll be going over today. I don't anticipate this call lasting more than 30 minutes. We're going to go over a few food shuttle departmental updates, and then go over some Share Our Strength partner updates, as well as a couple things that have stemmed from these updates in terms of program changes, to incentives, to Cooking Matters terminology, and then as well as some survey changes that have filtered down from these Share Our Strength changes. Okay, so first off, we're going to share a little bit about some development within the Food Shuttle Nutrition Department. So the Food Shuttle has, effective July, we actually have rebranded our nutrition department to use a new title, and now we are the Community Health Education Department. So you may have begun to see some of these changes, especially in regards to communication on our emails, our electronic newsletters, and then also on our website as well, and our blog. So you'll see these changes. We're still in transition and making sure that everything gets changed over to this new name, but we're excited about this new name, as it will allow us to incorporate more wellness components and exercise components into what we're already doing, as we continue to provide nutrition and cooking education through Cooking Matters at the store, and then our proprietary curriculum as well. It'll also allow more involvement internally, collaboratively with our organization. But this is just a note for you all to make, that if you are used to calling us the nutrition department at the Food Shuttle in the past, this will now be called the Community Health Education Department. You may also see us refer to this as CHE for short. So don't be alarmed as you see that. We're still the same team, still doing the same things, but this is just kind of a branding note for you all. That leads us to our next topic, which is the Share Our Strength partner update. So Share Our Strength, as you all probably are familiar with the term lead partner. Share Our Strength in the past had lead partners within each state, implementing their programming and distributing curricula to other partners within the state that were perhaps operating on a somewhat smaller level than the lead partner had planned to operate. So Share Our Strength designated lead partners in each state that would be responsible for training and onboarding other satellite partners throughout the state, going through the lead partner as a sort of a hub in that sense. Share Our Strength has recently decided to shift focus towards providing a different structure and organization in terms of their partnerships across the states. And they have decided to go away with the lead partner title and allow all partners to have a more direct connection to Share Our Strength and offer the programming, leading to the title change from lead partner to implementation partner. So this may seem a little confusing, but implementation partners are able to offer the programming without going through what was previously referred to as a lead partner in your state. So now any partner throughout the state can connect directly to Share Our Strength and become an implementation partner of the program. The food shuttle is now called an implementation partner, and the satellite partners that we have are still satellites of our implementation partnership with Share Our Strength, but just know that now there is not the necessary need to go through a lead partner in each state to get to Share Our Strength to offer the programming. So there's no distinguishment anymore between past lead partners from other partners, just so that you know. And this leads me to our next note, that with this change being made from Share Our Strength down to their partners, the food shuttle has also chosen to restructure our satellite support to only serve those satellite partners within our 7 service counties. So our 7 service counties, for those of you who are not aware, include Wake, Durham, Orange, Chatham, Johnston, and Nash and Edgecombe counties in North Carolina. So with that being said, the satellite partners that are without those outside of those 7 service county area are becoming outside of our 7 service county reach, and those are going to be continuing in partnership if they desire by going either directly through Share Our Strength or partnering with other agencies in their surrounding areas that are more physically close by so that they can continue their programming if they so desire. So this is just a kind of different change from what you've seen in the past. We've had satellite support throughout the entire state, and now that we are no longer required as a lead partner to provide service to all Cooking Matters implementation partners in the state, we're only going to be supporting our 7 service counties. It's kind of a restructuring. So if you have questions about any of that, please feel free to let me know. But we have connected our satellite partners outside the 7 service counties with other agencies nearby that are running the programming, and then also provided them the direct link to apply to be a partner directly with Share Our Strength. This leads me to our next item, and that is program incentives. So Share Our Strength is kind of shifting focus in terms of incentives, and you may be familiar with these incentives listed as past program incentives that would come with Cooking Matters. So we're guaranteed the offering of the curricula, so the books for participants and instructor guides. Each participant also received a graduation certificate for the Cooking Matters programming specifically. Cooking Matters for adults, parents, families, and teens also receive reusable bags and cutting boards. So these are some things that you would receive in your material order when you requested one via us through Share Our Strength. Now, with the new fiscal year, and as Share Our Strength has begun to shift their focus of incentives in the way that they offer them, they are now downsizing to only offer curricula and graduation certificates. So with that being said, they are going to still offer incentives, but they're going to have a purchasing portal instead of offering the bags and cutting boards free. So they had to make some choices as to what they were going to allow in their budget this year, and they decided that the curricula and graduation certificates were a must, obviously. But there will be no more cutting boards or reusable bags coming in your program orders when you place material orders through us. So just know that if you don't receive bags or cutting boards, this is not a mistake. This is something that Share Our Strength has decided that they're going to shift their focus and provide these incentives only for purchase. So right now they're actually in the works of creating a purchasing portal for those items. And when that's available, I will let all of our satellite partners know so that if you want to get together with your organization and decide that you want to purchase incentives, you can do so. We're currently also looking at different incentives via different websites, and you can also take this time to perhaps brand on your own an incentive. So perhaps For example, say you're the post center and you want to provide a cutting board for your participants as an incentive. You can brand it with your name rather than the Cooking Matters name and kind of help with awareness of your organization particularly, as well as kind of create that memorable note in their participants' mind of where they took the class, who they took it with, and that kind of thing. You will also notice that since Share Strength is no longer keeping bags stocked as an incentive, this also affects the first-time volunteer incentive of first-time volunteer incentives being able to receive a bag. So you'll notice that this option will become unavailable on our Google material ordering form when you place orders for new curriculum, for new upcoming classes. That will go away as there are no more bags to be sent out. So just note that, and note that there will be other options for purchasing incentives. We're just not exactly aware of what those will be yet, and we'll keep you abreast of that as they come up. Okay, our next topic is a little bit of a change in Cooking Matters terminology. You may all be familiar with this slide from our last webinar, where we kind of differentiated the definitions of some familiar terms that Cooking Matters uses to classify individuals who attend classes. So previously, Cooking Matters had 3 different tiers of individuals who would attend. If you attended 1 class, you were an attendant. If you attended at least 2 classes, you were a participant. And then you were considered a graduate if you attended at least 4 classes. And this did not have to include attendance at graduation. However, you did have to attend 4 classes during the 6-week session. So with the new terminology change that's coming now, Cooking Matters has decided to shift focus and do away with the attendant category. So now there are only two tiers of participation within Cooking Matters classes. This also has caused a shift in the definition of an actual participant. So you'll notice that a participant is no longer one who attends at least 2 classes, but a participant is one that attends at least 1 class. So there are kind of only 2 categories now, helping a little bit of the attendance tracking efforts that all host sites are going through and Cooking Matters coordinators are having to keep track of. So an individual is considered a participant if they attend at least 1 class, and then the definition of a graduate does stay the same. So you won't see the word attendant any longer. You'll only see the word participant. But please do make this note when you're filling out your course reporting form. This will change the way that you report participants versus graduates. So you'll probably have a higher percentage of actual participants since it will include anyone who attends at least 1 class. All right, this leads us to our next topic. So survey changes. There are a couple different items to address with survey changes. The first is that for Cooking Matters Kids and Cooking Matters Teens programming, Share Our Strength is shifting their focus to be able to process a higher amount of surveys that relate to their priority audience. You may all have heard me list the priority audience in the past of Share Our Strength, and that is parents and caregivers of children ages 0 to 5, and that includes pregnant mothers. In an effort to be able to process more of those priority audience surveys, they're kind of doing away with the processing of kids and teen surveys. However, we still have access to the kids and teen surveys, and we can still implement them in class. They just won't be processed and turned into the data report that Share Our Strength was previously generating around those programs. We think it's still important to capture the data from those surveys and to do program evaluation around our kids and teens classes to make sure that we are aligning with Share Our Strength gold standards for Cooking Matters. And so we are going to still process those surveys via Google Forms. So if you are running Cooking Matters for Kids and Cooking Matters for Teens programming, please still send us those surveys. We'll process them, and the data will look different, obviously, than it might for from your previous surveys that were processed through Share Our Strength, but we'll still be able to have that data in an electronic form for you so that we can share that with you. If, however, you're not interested and you feel like the kids and teens paperwork is too cumbersome and time consuming, and you'd rather forego having that data around those classes, that can be up to your organization to decide. If you wish to do the programming without surveys, that's fine. For now, the Food Shuttle is also looking into an alternate type of survey that might be a little bit easier and less time consuming, and a little less cumbersome for kids and teens to be able to fill out before and after class, so that we're still coming out with some behavior change items and able to report those to show the success of the program. So we're looking into ways that we can do that appropriately, and we'll give you updates on that as we have them. On the Cooking Matters at the Store side of things, Share Our Strength is only going to be processing surveys for tours that are occurring during the second and fourth full week of each month. So you may have heard me in the past talk about changes with Cooking Matters at the Store tour sampling surveys. And because Share Our Strength is chosen to only process a percentage of CMAT's tour surveys, they've kind of created an algorithm that only allows them to sample and pull surveys from tours that occurred during the second and fourth full week of each month. This means that you do not have to survey at each tour that you do. So if you're leading a tour during the first or third week of the month, no need to take surveys. That will probably make your participants a little more happy that they don't have to complete all the paperwork before and after the tour. Also, this definition might be a little bit tricky, second and fourth full week of each month. And because that is, I'm going to be uploading a calendar onto our blog, and I will send out an email when this is available, but a calendar that highlights the second and fourth full week of each month as Share Our Strength defines. So this will be a little bit more clear for you all. Are there any questions about that? Okay. All right, we'll move on. All right, next this leads us to our Cooking Matters app. So you may have heard me mention the Cooking Matters app in the past. This is a free app, which is awesome. However, it's only available currently for free on Google Play, so for Samsung and Galaxy Android phones. So right now, it is available for those users that have that type of phone. Share Our Strength is aware that obviously a lot of the population we're serving also is utilizing iPhone heavily, and so they're working on fixing the app so that it's ready to roll out and be launched for iPhone next month. So the date that we received from them was an estimated release date of October 2017, and we'll let you know as soon as that's available. But for now, it is technically available for other users of Android phones. So if you click the link, this link up here, the Cooking Matters app link, this actually takes you to the website where you can download the app. But this app is really cool because it has a lot of the recipes. It has actually all of the recipes that Cooking Matters has, but it's available quick and easy on your phone instead of having to take your book or printed recipe with you perhaps to the store when you're searching for your ingredients. It's kind of at your fingertips, and it makes it a lot more fun with interactive pictures and that kind of thing. All right. So this brings us to our fiscal year 2017 data reports. I don't know if you've heard me mention these before, but these are awesome because it gives you all the behavior change percentages from all of your programming kind of at your fingertips, and then you can use those numbers to then report back to funders, to your organization to show them the success of the program, reporting on SNAP-Ed and that kind of thing. So these reports for 2017 are available now. Some of you have already asked for these and have received them. The rest of you will be getting them soon. So I'm planning to generate all these reports for you for each different program this week, and they'll be coming to you soon via email. If you are not familiar with these data reports or if you haven't seen one before, I put a little screenshot of an excerpt of our fiscal year Cooking Matters for adults of 2017 complete survey data set in this slide so that you can see what it might look like when it comes to you. So we'll just kind of glance over this really quickly. But if you notice in the top row, how often do you typically eat? The question is fruit. So how often do you typically eat fruit? The before course average was 2.1, and after the course, participants reported 2.34% after course average for how often they eat fruit, resulting in a 12% change here. So this is a positive increase. So participants are eating more fruit after the class. You will notice in the percent change column that not all of these percentages are positive percentage change. Some of them are negative, and that's the way perhaps some of the questions are designed. So if we look at the third column down, or the third row down, excuse me, how often do you typically eat French fries or other fried potatoes? You'll notice that the before course average to the after course average actually decreased here, resulting in a negative 11% change, which is actually a positive change for the behavior change that we're hoping to encourage in our participants. So negative doesn't always mean it's a negative behavior change. It's just a negative percent change based on that question. I will also be sending a document when I send these reports out to you. I'll send them on how to interpret these behavior change percentages because they can be a little bit tricky if you have not worked with them previously. I will also be available, obviously, via email and phone if you are confused about any of the behavior change percentages that you see in your personal data report. So just let me know. Do not hesitate to reach out if you're confused and cannot accurately interpret them. There will also be just a note that because this was a year of change between paper surveys into being more electronic based, there are some programming that was underway already as paper surveys and some that programming was implemented electronically in terms of surveys. And so just note that there will be, perhaps if you did some Cooking Matters for Adults classes on paper and some electronically, you will receive two different reports, one for the programming that used paper surveys and one for the programming that used electronic surveys, because the survey data came out a little differently. All right. So now I just have end of the fiscal year Q1 reminders. So our Q1 actually ends on Saturday, September 30th, which is coming up. Can't believe it's already almost the end of September. This is just a reminder for all paperwork to be submitted and mailed to me by Friday, October 6th. So this includes any paperwork that ended within Q1, which encompasses July 1st. If you haven't sent any July, August programming to me, please do so as soon as possible. But any July 1st through September 30th programming, please send to me by Friday, October 6th. This includes making sure all of your electronic surveys are uploaded. So if you are having trouble uploading your electronic surveys to the through the electronic survey links, please let me know and I'd be happy to walk you through that. Okay. So our next webinar is scheduled for Thursday, December 14th at 1 p.m. If you click the hyperlink here with the time and date, it'll lead you to the GoToWebinar link to register for this webinar so that you can go ahead and get it on your calendar. I will be uploading this recording of this webinar to our YouTube page and then linking it also to our blog. I'll be sending that out when that's done so that whoever, if you have other team members or other staff that need to watch this and get updated on all these changes, you can let them know and share that information with them there. But at this time, I just want to check in and see if we have any questions. So now if you have a question, please type it into the box. Let's see, I don't think we have any questions as of now. If you do come up with any questions based on any of this information or anything in general relating to satellite programming, please feel free to email me or call me and let me know after the webinar. And I thank you all so much for attending, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.